Hello, guys. I want to talk about the difficulties of taking care of an elderly parent um, who is toxic as well, narcissistically toxic, and has alcohol abuse problems. So, I'm going to be frank, it's not easy at all. It's already difficult enough to have to take care of a parent who has dementia. Yeah. So, if you add to that, okay, the confusion in diagnosing a person who's got a personality disorder like narcissism and dementia, to make the difference, because there are very small differences actually, okay, or there are points where it can be confusing. For example, somebody who has dementia, okay, they say they have a memory distortion, believing that something has already happened when it has not, thinking that an old memory is a new one, combining two memories or confusing the people in the memory. Okay, that's a dementia criteria. The problem that you get, well, let's say that the parent is not a toxic parent, okay? And when you start seeing these little signs, you start having these little signs, you usually take them to the doctors and have them examined and see, and the doctor might tell you, oh, it's the beginning of dementia, or it's stage 2, stage 3, or whatever of dementia. But when your parent is a toxic narcissist, okay, memory dis, distortion, sorry, is also a tactic they use to mix you up, to confuse you. I mean, they do mix up stories on purpose to confuse you. This is something a narcissist does. Okay, this is something my mother did. She would react to an old memory as if it happened yesterday. I mean, she would go back, she often went back to old stories, old things. I can remember when you did this to me. And then the reaction she has about this, which happened 15, 20 years ago, is like it happened today. She often said, you said this, and I was like, no, I didn't, you did, or somebody else would have said it, and then she puts the words into my mouth. So she did confuse people saying what in the memory. Now I understand why, when I was telling stories about my mother in some older videos, quite a few of you, of my subscribers anyway, you would write underneath, does she have dementia, or this seems like dementia? Yes, but because you're used to the narcissist using these tactics for their own advantage, in their own advantage, to confuse you or to project the blame onto you. Well, I'm not going to go through all these tactics that they have. I never really thought about it being a dementia criteria. Also, it says by the time a person shows signs of the disorder, dementia we're talking about, the process in the brain has been happening for a long time. And this is the difficult part, because my mother, two psychiatrists who saw my mother, one who came to the house and the other one in the clinic, the other ones in the clinic where she is, they said that she doesn't have dementia, which surprised me. How is it possible? Because sometimes she gives me the impression that she really believes in what she is saying, which is a distortion of reality, which is a mixture of people and stories but little bits, and all that. So how can they be so sure that it's not dementia? But they ruled it out. They said that all this is because of the burned cells. She's burned some cells in her brain because of the alcohol. They told us, in the clinic, they told us that she's got personality disorder. They name it, but they said she's got a personality disorder and it's not fixable. She's only gonna be getting worse with time. So it's very confusing for the person taking care of them, okay, because you want to know what's wrong with that person. You want people to name it. You want people to tell you, this is this, this is that. And to tell you the truth, not having anybody in the family, there's nobody in the family that is wanting to be near that woman 24 hours a day and taking care of that woman. So what we want is to have somebody take care of her, pay somebody to take care of her. And being a narcissist who wants to be in control of everything, okay, and who also wants to be drinking secretly without anybody telling her that she can't, she doesn't want a woman in the house. She doesn't want somebody taking care of her. So through lawyers and all that, we're trying to get paper that is going to say that we are in charge of her. Now, the thing is, if those psychiatrists write us a paper saying that she's got a personality disorder, I don't think that any judge is going to impose her or give us the ability to take care of her by force, okay, by law. Whereas if they say that she has dementia, okay, they're diagnosed, then of course the judge is going to decide that someone else needs to take care of her. So now we get to the point where I kind of don't think it's in our advantage or in her advantage to be diagnosed with a personality disorder, but with dementia. Do you understand the problem here? There is a little problem here. Because if they say that she's got a personality disorder, she's gonna go back home and live her own life the way she used to live it, which is like out of control kind of living, okay, drinking as much as she wants, drinking and driving, over consuming, wasting money that she doesn't have. So it's not really in her advantage to be diagnosed with personality disorder. So it's like with these people, with toxic people, it's always a back and forth. You're always going back and forth. All the problems, everything that has to do with them, it's like confusion. It's back and forth. We do that, we don't do that, we do that, we don't do that. Is that the best thing to do? Is that the worst thing to do? And you are never sure about anything, because finally they do manage to, all the shit that's happening in their mind, becomes their lives and becomes the reality for everybody around them. The reality is that this confusion is not only in there, but it's a fucked up life, and it's a confusing life, and it's confusing decisions that you have to make, and confused feelings, and everything is like chaos around these people. It's drama and chaos when it shouldn't be, when it should be easy. I mean, your parent, the non-toxic parent, has dementia. It's not easy, but it's easier to take a decision in what is going to happen. It's easier to take decisions. Whereas with a narcissist with dementia, it's never easy. Nothing is easy around these people. Nothing. Even the end is not easy. So I just want to let you know about that, and whoever is about to take that big decision, of taking care of that parent, of the toxic parent, because dementia seems to be like the thing nowadays, starting the 60s. And then you go 70s, 80s, and not everybody has dementia. Nobody just dies of old age like they used to. Now they all go out the door of life with dementia. It's like everywhere. So yeah, there's nothing harder than a personality disordered person, cluster B personality disordered person with dementia. It's like fucking hell on earth, hell on earth. Because they losing control. I mean, nobody likes losing their control of their lives. But for them, it's like no fucking way, no fucking way.